Welcome back to Everything Is. We are the zeitgeist. We are the culture. We're here to bring to you a couple of topics today. And today's one of those days where I walked into the studio or walked into my, my studio where we do our lab, where we do our work. And I had a lot of stuff to say, but just not enough time to say it. So bear with us on a little bit of lateness, but we had to support and get this all prepared for y'all to just whip it up right. So we're skipping the small talk, no warm up. We'll just jump straight into this because last night, something happened in New York. Can you believe people are gonna be talking about this for the next 20 years, bro? And I think there's something about New York right now. Like the energy is different. Y'all feel that? I feel it. I know. Do y'all feel that? Because with the Knicks, with Mamdani, it seems like there's a something in the air that's changing, right? It feels like something new, something new in the air. And this morning, so because that happened last night, and then this morning also, of course, we got to talk about Orange Man in the White House. The President of the United States decided to hold the housing bill hostage. So we're going to talk about that as well. He's holding a bill that passed the House 358 to 32 because he wants to guarantee Republicans win the midterms. Not because of policy, not because of principle, but because of voter ID. So we got one story about the future arriving ahead of schedule. And then we got another story of a man trying to make sure that the future doesn't get to vote. Let's get into both of them. So, as I said, Zohran Mamdani, mayor of New York City, 34 years old, first Muslim mayor in the history of the city. Man, the man who beat Andrew Cuomo by 9 points, belt to ass. I love this man. I'm a Mamdani maniac. But yeah, he's a saint. He's a man that went 3 for 3 in the congressional primary last night. And I need y'all to understand what that actually means. 3 for 3 in the congressional primaries. This is huge. So 3 congressional races, 3 candidates Mamdani endorsed against the Democratic establishment, all 3 won. Let me tell you who they beat. First, we have Darializa Avila Chevalier. She's 32 years old. She's a community organizer and a democratic socialist. She knocked off Adriano Espaillat in New York's 13th district. Now, Espaillat is 71 years old. He has been in Congress since 2017. Before that, he was a state senator. Before that, he was a state assemblyman. That man has been in some kind of government building since the early 90s. And a 32-year-old with no prior elected office just ended that era on a Tuesday night. I just want that to sit for a second. 32 years old. It's young. Which means if she holds that seat with the same energy as her predecessor, she can be in Congress until 2060. 2060, bro. Now then, we have more. Brad Lander, former New York City comptroller. He beat Dan Goldman in the 10th district, who had full support of Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic leader. And then we also have Claire Valdez, a Democratic Socialist state assembly member who won the open seat in the 7th district, the seat that Nydia Velasquez is retiring from. Now, that was a closer race. And here's the number that matters most. Hakeem Jeffries personally campaigned against all 3 of Mamdani's candidates. He went to New York and stumped for incumbents. And he lost. The House Democratic leader, the man whose job is to decide the direction the Democratic Party goes, went up against the mayor of New York and got swept off the court. Shout out to the Knicks.
I want to be clear about why this is bigger than just 3 races in one city. Because these are safe Democratic districts, if you will. These are not really seats that are at risk of flipping in November. Whoever wins the primary here wins the seat. Just period. So what happened last night isn't just primary upset. It's a transfer of power. The people who were going to hold these seats for the next decade just got replaced. And the people replacing them are 20 to 30 years younger, significantly further left, openly critical of Israel war in Gaza, and aligned with the political operation, Mamdani's operation, that just proved that it can beat the establishment machine in its own backyard.
And this is where I need to bring in a little history. Because what's happening right now in the Democratic Party is not new. And I think this gets overlooked. It
Mm-hmm.
has a precedent. And that precedent is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. In the 1930s, FDR comes into office during a crisis, the Great Depression, and he starts pushing policies that the conservative wing of his own party hates. I'm talking universal programs, government intervention, social safety nets, the old guard Democrats. They called him the Bourbon Democrats. They called them the Bourbon Democrats, the conservative Southern wing. They fought him every step of the way. FDR was so frustrated by them that in 1938 he tried to do exactly what Mamdani just did. He tried to primary the establishment Democrats out of office and replace them with people who actually believed in what he was building. His attempt largely failed. The machine was just too entrenched. But here's the key: the idea survived. And I get goosebumps when I think about this because it means that no matter what Franklin did at that time, and people would have said he got wiped off the board with the people who were behind him. His ideas, even though he's no longer here with us, his ideas are still here, and people are still fighting for that to this day. And that leads us to where we are right now. So over decades, the Democratic Party has finally did a little bit of transformation. The New Deal coalition reshuffled who the party was and for what it stood. And the politicians who embodied those ideas built legacies that lasted generations. What Mamdani just did is what FDR was trying to do. Except Mamdani has something FDR didn't have in 1938. He's the mayor of the largest city in the country. He just won by 9 points. He has a working coalition of young Democratic Socialists of America members and progressive voters who showed up and delivered. And he did it in 2026, not 1938. The infrastructure is better. There's a lot more money on the opposition. The organizing is better. And the incumbents he's replacing are frankly, they're exhausted.
Yes, this youth factor is not a thing that you should stop thinking about, right? Adriana Espaillat, 71. Okay, when I was listening to my man talk, I'm like, shit, if homegirl Darializa ain't catching, motherfucker Reaper was coming along knocking at that door pretty soon. I mean, but just to be, all jokes aside, he's been in some form of elected office for over 30 years, bro. I'm 37. So, like, let's just put that in perspective. So, Darializa uh, Avila Chevalier, right?
Good job.
Uh, I got some names on y'all, boy. I ain't gonna disrespect that. I did in the post game, but she 32. You know, do the math on what that means right now for that seat to flip from 71 to 32. So when we talk about flipping, they necessarily got to flip from red to blue. It can flip from old to young, which is very important, right? Charles Rangel held that same district for 46 years before Espaillat. So think about what we're talking about. This guy, Adriano, 71, he been holding it down for a minute. His predecessor, 46 years a minute is what how long that dude held the seat. So, like, let's just put this in again, real math, real terms. This young lady's 32, right? If she holds it for even the 30 years, because it's possible, it's very real, it's very realistic. Bro, she's shaping the policies in Upper Manhattan and the Bronx until 2050. 2050.
Wow, that's wild.
You know what I'm saying? So that's not really a primary upset. That is a generation of political reality being replaced by a different generation of political reality. The votes that get casted in these seats between now and then on climate, on housing, on healthcare, on foreign policies, those votes are now going to come from a completely different place than they would have if last night went another way.
And Hakeem Jeffries needs to look in the mirror this morning, guys. He has to look in the mirror because of what New York just told him last night is that more Democrats is not the argument anymore. Mamdani said it himself. It's not a question of electing more Democrats. It's a question of electing better Democrats. And the voters agreed. And I'm not saying Jeffries is the villain of the story. I'm saying the establishment is being handed a message written in large block letters, and they need to decide whether they're going to read it or keep explaining why the voters got it wrong.
Now, you may think we're done with the show after that. We gotta make a pivot because as we was watching New York politics make history last night, the broader scale of it all, the president of the United States was busy doing what he does best, using the crisis that affect millions of Americans as a bargaining chip for something completely unrelated.
Right, man. The 21st Century Road to Housing Act, that's ROAD to Housing Act. This is the largest housing bill in 3 decades. Now, guys, this is unprecedented. It passed bipartisanship, man. It passed the Senate 89-10, bipartisan. It passed the House 358 to 32, also bipartisan. Those are not close votes. Those are those are we agree on almost nothing, but we agree on this votes. And Trump was supposed to sign it this morning. Was supposed to. This morning he posted on Truth Social that he's canceling the signing ceremony until the Congress passes the SAVE Act, the voter ID bill that requires proof of citizenship to vote.
Enough with this guy already. This is significantly insane because if you haven't been up on game, the SAVE Act has already failed in Congress multiple times. So as we're talking about something that the Congress has agreed upon unanimously, damn near, almost. I mean, like unopposed if we're talking about the numbers.
Yeah.
This SAVE Act has been a complete no-go. And it's not just a no-go from Democrats. God damn it, this is a bipartisan no too, nigga. Republicans like enough. God damn. Let us make it through the midterms, please. Meaningful number of Republicans do not want to vote on it before the midterms because of what it looks like. Now, just imagine this. Republicans don't want to vote on something because what it looks like. You see the irony of that shit?
I know, right?
Anyway,
Yeah.
You're telling millions of Americans who are legally registered that they need to dig up additional documentation to prove that they're citizens in order to vote or they'll lose their vote. That is not a popular position, especially in an election year, especially in a year when we ain't just talking, this is seat senates. These are House representatives. These are very much essential voting year right now. Again, we're talking about a place where you can hold your seat damn near for 20 to 30 to 40 years. Niggas not trying to fuck up that check. Nigga, that is a lifetime check. Anyway, Republicans running in competitive districts in November do not want to vote on that at all. They don't want to vote on it, especially on record. Hey, if we can do a secret thing and they can get ready to, I'll do it, nigga. But my vote got to be on record. That's a nah. It's a nah. So Trump is essentially saying, I will hold this housing bill hostage to demand that my own party will meet something that they don't want to agree to. This hostage situation seems like the whole point of Trump. It's just his whole steez.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, as everything with Trump is, and here's the thing that nobody is saying because what we're gonna say because in our opinion, this is about the midterms, like we just mentioned. Full stop. It's just about the midterms. The housing bill is the most popular bipartisan thing Congress has done in years. It has 358 votes in the House. If Trump signs it, Republicans have a genuine legislative win. they can run on in November. Genuine. But if Trump signs it before forcing through voter ID changes that would suppress Democratic leaning votes, particularly immigrants and young voters, then he's signing away a potential structural advantage before the election. So the choice is sign a popular bill and let the election happen on the merits, or stall long enough to either get the voter ID provisions attached, or run out the clock in a way that muddles who actually delivered the housing relief. In our opinion, that is not a coincidence.
Listen, and I didn't even want to give a fuck about Trump today. I was talking about the real bill that is not perfect in its own right. The bill, let's be honest, the interesting analysis has been circulating about this bill, what it actually holds under the hood versus what it says it does. That's the real topic.
You're right. There's multiple layers to this. I do think that Trump right now thing is pretty significant because people are seeing the cracks in the divisions on both sides of the aisle right now. Now, the 350 unit cap in the bill, that's the headline provision, right? The thing that everyone is calling a ban on corporate landlords. Here's the honest breakdown of it. If you already own more than 350 single family homes, and by the way, only the biggest players have this. We're talking Blackstone, we're talking Innovation Homes, we're talking Progressive Residential. If you're at that level, you are frozen in place. You can keep every unit you already own. You just can't buy more, which sounds like accountability. But the argument, and it is a legitimate argument, is that by setting the cap at 350, you also have effectively told any emerging private equity firm that wants to grow to 351 units to challenge those giants, you can't. The incumbents who already own the market just got a rule written that protects their position while blocking future competition. That is not a restriction on corporate landlords. That is a moat around the ones who already are there.
Listen, I'm a homeowner. My home is technically owned by a publicly traded company of KB Homes. But that public and institutional shareholders are largely held by big time players like BlackRock Inc., like the Vanguard Group, like State Street Corporation. So, let's be honest, you own it, but you don't own it really. And this is what they're doing right now. They have a build to rent provision, the one that was really deserves the attention, because this provision right here in the original state version of the bill had a 7-year requirement. Now, this hear me out. In the bill, there was a 7-year requirement that if a corporation built a home specifically for rental, after 7 years, they had to sell those homes to individual homeowners, right? That's what the economy. You let people rent, save their money, rent to own. Boom. That's what. Nah. They got rid of that. That mechanism was to turn the rental stock back into the own homes of the American people. That was stripped. The House did that, by the way. Right? So as we're talking about partisans, bipartisan, stuff like that, the House stripped that out. It's gone. So what that means is that the practice of the corporation can now build an entire subdivision of starter homes, rent them out, every single one of them, forever, and never have to sell. Never. That means not a family, not a first buyer to get it. They just collect a rent check on a brand new constructions until the end of time.
Bro, man. So basically, we built a bill that tells Blackstone they can't buy the neighborhoods they've already bought. But then we handed Wall Street permission to build entirely new neighborhoods that nobody will ever own. That is not that is just, it's not ending corporate landlordism. It's just not. That is giving it a new zip code. They went from buying old neighborhoods essentially to building new ones. It's the same game, new board. And somebody in Congress thought we would notice.
That's kind of like Kevin Feige with the MCU. He doing a lot of shit that he think that we won't notice, right? New, same task, new mask. Like, what the fuck is going on here? No, we see you.
We see you, man.
The bottom line here is the bill has real things that it's worth supporting, but the real thing is that we have to be suspicious of this. And the president is holding the hostage, of course, because why not? Why not hold it over everybody's head as he tries to attach the voting restriction that his own party don't want to vote for right now during the midterm, or before the midterms, I should say, where the party is trying to hold down the House to allow him to fucking sign bills. This man is crazy.
Yeah, man. The new class from New York just showed us what the future of the Democratic Party can look like. Younger, further left, not afraid to show what they actually believe in. And Trump is over here trying to make sure that the future can't vote in November. That is the whole show today. Everything is a new deal. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Sexual chocolate. They play so fine, don't you agree? I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. Make it easier.
Some of the good stuff, right? Coming up.
Want a Coke? Join the show?
Enjoy, young man.
I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, you can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all inside of me. Yeah. Sexy chocolate.
God damn, that boy can sing.
You must be crazy.
He good.
You must be crazy.
Good and terrible.
What the-
Children are the future, baby.
Children are the future,
Children
man.
are the future, man. That's classic, brother. Man, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Everything is podcast. We are the zeitgeist. We are the culture, and we're bringing to you everything that matters. We're talking everything that matters tonight. Please definitely follow, like, subscribe. We really would appreciate that. Give me 1 second. I'm getting interference on my end. You check it. You introduce the show.
I got you, my guy. So, as you saw with our opening monologue, we be trying to keep them like when we be making them hosts, we be like, yo, we want it under 5 minutes. You know what I mean? That shit, sometimes we get into it, that shit be running like a whole Jon Stewart 15-minute monologue. Respect to them niggas doing that. That's real spill motherfucking dedication to what we be doing at the show. So I want y'all to really show some appreciation to it. You know, give it up for us. Give it up for us. Give it up for us. Okay, so we are really going to tackle some really important and influential topics right now. As usually today, Wednesday, we're trying to plan out our weekly schedule, and we believe that today, hump day, I'm sorry, in the middle of the week, will be something that will be very informative, right? Very not super politically driven, but information driven, right? This is super like informative stuff, right? Shout out to Pablo Torre, who's very inspirational with his investigative journalism. Just won a Pulitzer Prize, and it's just based off of being passionate about your reporting. And so after we ended last night's show, if y'all saw last night's show, my power went out and my man Chidi had to end the show himself and everything like that. And as we're getting the show uploaded and getting clips in the drive, he's sending me like, yo, Mamdani, the Kingmaker. Mamdani got some underlinks. And to me, that was important to see, and it's important to pay attention to, because what Zoran is doing is embodying what that cold open was. He is a product of somebody believing in the future of not only children, but the education system, how they're brought up, how they receive things, how they perceive things, and then how they make an impact to change the things that they're a part of. So we chose that,
man.
yeah, we chose that cold open because as he is 34, and then we read that he is supporting and he has endorsed someone that's 32, right? These are real deal children to the people that they're running up against. Essentially, we just named the guy Adriano. He's 71. Guarantee if you look up, he got a kid that's 30, maybe a kid that's 40. Nigga, you shit, depending on what he talking about, he got a kid, nigga, that's probably 55. Nigga, if he popping it like that, you know what I mean? But, so this is real deal kids that he's running up against, so.
Yeah, 100%. I just, when I think of FDR and his ideas and how he, they called him a class trader because he was a Wall Street guy, and he then started working for the middle class in America and trying to put provisions in to help, increase the floor of Americans. Every time I think about his ideas living past his lifetime, like none of these people were alive when FDR passed away. Mamdani, none of the people he endorsed, me and you. But those ideas have lived on to the point where we are today, and we're still fighting against one of the most corrupt regimes and still getting our people in places to fight for us. And it's a big deal, man. And like we're saying, like these candidates are going to be in office representing the ideals of what you can do to raise the floor of America for what could potentially be another, 15, 20, 30 years. New York is going to change and transform over the next 30 years. The Bronx, what is it going to look like, in the next 20 years? Who knows what is going to be able to, the crime going down, the infrastructure, the...
Yeah, nigga, if AOC become president, the Bronx going up.
For real, man.
I me, nigga, you ain't gonna be able to tell a Bronx something, nigga. Nothing if AOC with the president, nigga. PX a day, nigga. PX a day, nigga. You ain't gonna be able to tell a nigga nothing, bro.
No word up, man. Yo, especially as the first woman, first Latina. Just AOC, man. I fuck with her hard body. And to see her, come from, not too far from where I'm from, is very inspirational. It's very much, I just appreciate the hard work she's putting, because she was the first one to show that an incumbent can lose to a progressive. Like she was like the first person to make us believe, Bernie's cool and all, he birthed all these young kids, but he's going to leave behind a legacy that, let me see, how old was Bernie when FDR passed away? That's Bernie Sanders.
What's crazy?
Was 3 years old. Bernie was 3 years old when FDR passed, and now he's leaving, moving the torch to these kids. I just love it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say like FDR. He, it's crazy as we're like the ideology label. He hated the label, or rejected. I won't say hated. He rejected the socialist label. Right now, but you have but he essentially birthed the social democrat, right?
Uh,
Or the democratic socialist, I
it
guess,
was a
essentially. Like
smear. Like, let's be real. They use it as a smear, and it's not
yeah,
necessarily factually true. As much as we are embracing the socialist term nowadays, these candidates, they're not really socialist in the, you know, the vernacular sense, or like, the what the word means. Like, people are just throwing that on them. They're not what they're doing in China, even though they have socialist policies there that might have. They're not, um, all these other places that socialism has, you know, gone come and gone. They're democratic socialists, and we forget the democratic part. And people, when I've argued with people who say, "Oh, there's no such thing as democratic socialism." No, you gotta be real with people, and you gotta understand that words mean something. Like, democratic socialism is not, "Hey, we want the government to control all means of production, and we are in control of it." That's not what they're for. That's what straight up socialism is. But if you believe in the fire department, if you believe in the police department, if you've ever gotten food stamps, or you believe that we should have clean roads, like the trash department. This is all, like, unless you have privatized trash department, privatized recycling. These are all socialist policies, guys. Like, the police is a socialist policy. Like, there's certain policies that will benefit everybody that we all pay into. And it's just a matter. So to make America,
that police is no benefit to everybody, big dog.
you know what I'm trying. Yeah, you're
I
right.
know.
There is definitely a caveat there for
that,
sure. You
that
know,
police don't be that police don't be policing and protecting everybody now.
that is
But
definitely true.
but I ain't mean to throw you off. I knew you was rolling right there. My bad,
No, no,
though.
no. Like, I was just gonna say, like, when we talk about the word socialism, it's just like they use the word woke. Like, I'm not afraid to say I'm woke, because me and you come here on this podcast, we find out what's going on every single day, and we dive deeper into what's going on, even when it hurts to even look into the things and say, oh my God, we got to talk about Trump again. Oh my God, they're trying to pass this bill that honestly there's some provisions that we might what are questionable. We are staying aware of these things, and we are woke. They've turned it into this whole radical liberal ideology that's, oh my God, you're trying to control people and make them believe what you want to believe, like we talked about yesterday or the day before, where the guy was saying there's a trans agenda. That's woke. That's not what woke ever meant, they've stolen what black people have created, a term to stay aware of what's going on, to hold us back in this country, and they bastardize it. And it's the same thing they're doing with socialism, and just blanket statement. There's no intellectual thought process when you hear somebody say, "Oh my God, socialism never works." They don't understand what the hell democratic socialism is. As we see right now, Mamdani's working pretty damn fine. So I just want to just really clarify that, because what FDR, he rejected it because at the time it was a smear, because it's not necessarily what he was doing. It's not like you don't believe in capitalism and you're saying no, we got to change all the means of production. He still believed in capitalism. He just needs to now help
He
out
did, but
all
he just
Americans.
didn't believe. He just didn't believe in business and financial monopoly. That's
Exactly.
what he didn't believe in government being or he didn't want government being ran with organized money. So I mean, like he listen. If you want to talk about facts, let's talk about the facts. My nigga said, make your money, don't monopolize it, and specifically, it was to again connecting the tissue. Real estate guys, real estate giants. Like listen, the money back then, the conglomerate back then was how that was it. You bought up a whole bunch of businesses, you bought a whole bunch of land, you bought a whole bunch of buildings, and that's a monopoly. That's well, not monopoly, it's a conglomerate. But once you
Uh-huh.
buy out everybody, then what that ended up being. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I believe that the ideology the foundation of their ideas are rooted in using robust government intervention. I think that's
Uh-huh.
the biggest thing.
We
Government
gotta be
intervention,
real. Government, like,
super.
why would we be against that? Like, I mean, the people who say, "Oh my God, they're a socialist," and criticize that. Why would you be against government intervention? They interfere in everything else. They interfere in, they actually interfere to keep our drug prices high. They interfere in all these other countries, governments. You know, they interfere in everything. So why can't we say, you know what? Let's counteract and and interfere in these corporations so they are not harming the majority of people. Go ahead, my bad.
Attention, all trappers. Attention, all trappers. They want to get rid of trap phones. Attention, all trappers. They want to get rid of trap phones. Attention, all trappers. They want you to show ID when you buy trap phones, my nigga. So, like, we trying to be informed with everything, my nigga. And
And that shit.
that's a real thing. That's a real thing. They're trying to get rid of trap phones because they want to have surveillance. So we're talking about there's over um uh um damn it, I just had the number. Let me look it up. Flock cameras are going up the wazoo right now.
We can't get away from
I
fuck.
mean, we can't get away from these nigga. They everywhere,
They
and
cover
they
the.
not doing nothing that they supposed to be doing, nigga. They not doing a motherfucking thing that they supposed to be doing. So, hey, trappers, they are tracking your location with these fly cameras and taking away your trap phones. We trying to educate everybody, baby. We trying to get everybody.
Yeah, man. It's outrageous right now. And this is like goes to show like the government is not protecting us of those cameras. The government is not protecting. But when we say, hey man, government, can we protect us against these corporations and buying out these these homes or these corporations who are gouging prices, and can we kind of put in a social safety net so that people who, because unchecked capitalism, guys, you don't want that. I don't care if you're the most conservative capitalist in the world. You do not want unchecked capitalism, guys. You do not want Rockefeller Road railroads to be controlling the prices of every single railroad in the entire country so they can just decide they can control whether you can go and visit your grandma for the holidays. And that's an example because that's what was happening. They controlled every fucking railroad in the country. We do not want that for housing. We do not want that for our groceries. We do not want that for, you know, our livelihood. We don't want situations where, you can't fight for a higher wage because of any type of, and have them continually funnel money up. We all know the Republican strategy was trickle down economics, and look where that got us. Look where trickle down economics got us. So when you talk about a little bit of socialism, that's why socialism I think is winning right now. People want to say, "Oh man, it's new, it's changing, it's hip." It's not that. People are struggling, guys. People are fucking struggling. And they want to try something different because people are saying, "Oh my God, that guy in New York, man, he's actually going to tax the rich people out there. Oh, that guy in New York, man, he put together a program to shovel the snow, man. He gave them $30 an hour and they got paid." Like that guy in New York, oh wow, they were all scared that he's going to turn America into some crazy Sharia law place, which is a complete racist, xenophobic sentiment that makes no sense if you just think a little bit about what a mayor can do and what the powers are. But people are so afraid of him helping people, and it starts here. Like now, this man, like listen, let me pull up a video, but this means a lot right now to hit the power of Mamdani, though. This speaks to the power of who he is. But real quick, let me find a video that can explain that a little further.
And just to be clear, it is close to over 100,000 flock cameras. 100,000 flock cameras across the United States right now. So go to your city council, try to fight. There are cities, there are states that are doing it. Unfortunately, it's not my state. You know, Florida all about it.
They're not about it.
Hey, about it, nigga.
Oh man.
This how they getting away with it too. Just I know you're searching for it because the cameras are situated on public roads and right of ways. Florida courts and agencies maintain that drivers have no expectation of privacy regarding their license plate in public view. No warrant is required for police to search the flock database. There's no warrant required for police. So when we talked about that earlier about police officer who got a vendetta, whether it is a wife, fuck the wife, nigga, I'm going to look after the nigga. I know what car he drive. I know his license plate number, where he hide out, where he work at, what Amazon distribution center that nigga, because you know that's the one that's cracking your girl, nigga. You know it's the Amazon worker that's cracking your girl, nigga, while you the police officer thinking you doing some ball buff and jack and shit like that. She getting tossed by the box tosser, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, it's a 2-day delivery when he coming to your motherfucking ex-wife house, you goddamn jealous bastard. But yeah, man, no warrants needed for the
There's
niggas
so
to
many
do that.
dangerous ways that they can implement it. But yeah, I do want to talk about that flag thing. But real quick, let me show you a video on the rise of democratic socialism in America. They treat this shit like this is ESPN, yo. They like this is like the finals, bro. Like for real, this guy gets excited when he talks about these numbers.
The Democratic Socialists seem to be doing considerably better than they used to be, and they have the chance to knock off, in fact, Democratic incumbents in Congress. And part of the reason for that, why we're seeing these Democratic Socialists having such good chances or outright winning nominations, is take a look here. Net favorability among Dems. Democratic Socialists of America, look at that. A plus 17-point net favorability rating among Democrats. That is actually better. That is better than how congressional Democrats are viewed by Democrats at just plus 4 points. So no wonder that Democratic Socialists have such a good chance, because simply put, they are a better brand at this point than Democrats in Congress.
Among Democrats, it's interesting to see who they like more. All right, and you've used this number before. I always find this fascinating. When you compare socialism to capitalism, how are they doing right now?
Yeah, how are they doing right now among Democrats? You see this Democratic Socialists of America more positive than congressional Democrats. And I'll tell you, take a look at the trend line, the favorable rating among Democrats on socialism and look at this. In 2010, they were about equal. 50% had a favorable view of socialism. 51% said the same about capitalism. But capitalism has absolutely fallen through the floor. Look at this. It's now just 42% of Democrats who have a favorable view of capitalism. Socialism, on the other hand, up like a rocket. Look at this. 2 in 3 Democrats have a favorable view of socialism. So socialism is on the rise among Democrats. Capitalism is on the decline among Democrats. And again, this is part of the longer-term trend in which we are seeing Democratic Socialists doing considerably better among Democrats electing a mayor right here in New York City, for example.
And as we said, there are primaries next week with Democratic Socialists, self-proclaimed, on the ballot. What are the prediction markets saying about how they may do?
Yeah, this to me is one of the more stunning trends, right, that I have seen in covering politics over the last 15, 16 years. And if you believe the prediction markets, it's not going to just stop suddenly. It may extend into next week, because just take a look at the chance that Democratic Socialists win in Dem primaries, House primaries here in New York. You go to New York 7th District, right? You got a Brooklyn Borough president who at this point looks like an underdog compared to a Democratic Socialist. And then you may get a Democratic incumbent in Northern Manhattan get knocked off. That's closer to a 50-50 race. But the bottom line is this. Next week in New York may be a very good one for Democratic Socialists. Mayor.
So this was a week ago. And those are numbers prior to the election. Those women won, you know. But shit, I need to show.
That nigga look like Dan Graziano. You right. Them niggas.
Dead
them
ass,
niggas,
bro.
Niggas covering that shit like motherfucking draft. His stock is going all the way. He's the second round pick. He's shooting up to this guy like,
This guy
yeah,
is so
man.
excited, bro. But no,
Nigga.
the truth of the matter, because I don't have the video right now. I wish I had it, but they basically, uh, people are saying that this is a watermark for the Democratic Party because with Mamdani backing candidates and then winning, not like some of them winning, like all of them winning, come the midterms and come especially the 2028 election for presidency and all that stuff, his endorsement skyrockets and how much it matters. So what we're gonna see is people like John Ossoff and people like Gavin Newsom are going to need to come and not necessarily bend the knee to Zoran, but to at least shift their policies to reflect what he abides by. And this guy Zoran, he's no bitch, man. He straight up called out APAC. He said called them monsters. And then when they called him and pull up on him and say, "Hey man, what about that monster come? We didn't really like that." He said, "Well, when you talk about people killing kids on a regular basis and this, that, and the fourth," and he just stood on business with it. He just listed all the things that the Israel government has done and them supporting that. You may not be monsters, but you're supporting that. He just has a way of talking that he stands on business, whatever he believes in. So he's going to be able to sift through the candidates come 2028, and whoever gets his endorsement is going to be a massive push for their campaign when it comes to the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. This has really kind of like cemented him as a mover and shaker in the Democratic Party, and I'm really curious to see how things go forward because and are people going to move their policies more to the left, you know, because of this watermark moment. And we just gotta stay tuned to see what happens come the midterms and come obviously 2028 election, because things are getting interesting, man. Like this might be a historic moment for the Democratic Party and seeing a shift into a new way of governing.
I mean, as excited as you are, I'm super excited because, you also sent me somebody I need to be on the lookout for down here in
Yeah, I was about to
Florida.
bring that up. Yeah.
So like, just you always told me to just like there will be days where you should and can uh not let up, but you can breathe less uh heavy when talking about like you always told me I can be less exasperating, because there seems to be um again, there's not going to be a total power shift until we can have a real power shift,
Yeah, we need more
which I
numbers.
mean, it's a youth movement of people. Like again, I believe I don't know. I don't have the bandwidth, but people of our ilk, maybe, right? Vibrance, willing to learn. People are probably about 10 steps ahead of us, but within the same framework of wanting to see change. I think that's very beneficial for us right now. And even not even those who are running, those who have impact and those who ran, I think is something, right? Knowing who to vote for while we're voting for that. The policies in which they're voting for, all blue is not the shade of blue that you need to look for in the sky. Like there is there's not all bad red. There's a ton of things that you can pay attention to in this political landscape that allows you to be like, okay, as things are being stripped, as things are made worse, as things are being held again hostage or held captive or being eviscerated with the pen stroke, there is very much hope that okay, when we get somebody that's about it, they just change it back, right? Like that, like you know what I mean? Like like there's no end all be all to this motherfucking executive order. It changes with the years that the nigga there. You know what I mean? So like he did it. We got 2 years, but within those 2 years, we can make it harder for him to sign if we can get some of these seats flipped necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's going to definitely call into question, how things go in the House of Representatives and just the different new blood that are going to be fighting for different causes and having different conversations, within the House of Representatives and hopefully in the Senate. We got James Talarico in Texas. Listen, I know he's not perfect. I know there's question marks, but he's way better than them Texas Republicans. And I think that if we can get him in the Senate, that's a huge, huge, win for the
Who's
Democratic
down there
Party.
already? Is Greg Abbott or Ted Cruz? Which one of them niggas is the? Hold
Was
on.
it Ken Paxton?
Oh shit! Then we got several of them dumb niggas down there in Texas that be influencing shit.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
lot. And it's gonna be uphill. It's gonna be an uphill battle. I don't want to sit here and say like, "Oh man, it's bright sunshine and rainbows." It's gonna be a fight within the Democratic Party,
it's gonna be a
and it's
fight
gonna be a
within the
fight
Democratic Party.
against the
Absolutely.
Republicans, absolutely too. So, oh man, let me see if I can find another video I want to show you because I thought it was curious because like when we talk about fights within the Democratic Party, as much uh, as I love her. Um, Jasmine Crockett is she's not
Knew we was gonna bring her
she
up. She about
she is not with this James Calico dude. Like she's not trying to help him at all.
that's what
You
I'm
know?
trying to figure out. What's going on, bro? What we doing?
Yeah, man.
Kim
Here it is.
Paxton, Kim Paxton narrowly leads James Talarico a New Texas Senate poll. This is as of yesterday. Nearly nigga, I am not paying for this motherfucker subscription. Let me read this shit, bitch. Hold on. Oh, they are killing me. Okay, I think
What
I got
happened?
it. I need the I needed a subscription to read the U.S. Times. I mean,
Oh
the U.S.
man.
Today. I know, nigga. I can't even read. Nigga, they killing me. Um. No, but it was showing that to your point, Kim Paxton is leading right now. And yeah, we need some help. We need some help. Jasmine, don't do that. Don't do that, please. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Don't do that.
this is what she has to say on it, and
Go ahead. What she got to say? I got the article whenever you
I thought it was interesting. Oh wait, hold on, it's muted.
That Talarico is facing off against Republican Ken Paxton in November. When she was asked if she would actively campaign for or with Talarico, she reportedly said, quote, "I have no idea. I'm more focused on down ballot races in general." Now, she also did speak about being the focus of so much attention despite no longer being a candidate in this race. Let's hear from Jasmine.
Stop giving MAGA exactly what they want. Because while there is, this, I don't even know what to call Paxton, okay? I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of names for him. But he's their candidate. But y'all are still so focused on me. Bro, like, I'm not running. I'm not running, okay? So, like, focus on the people that are in the race. So if you have this urge to be like, oh, Jasmine this, Jasmine that, maybe use that energy towards Kim Paxton this, Kim Paxton that. Because last time I checked, no matter how much I end up being a part of the conversation, there is one person that is guaranteed not to become the next senator in the state of Texas, and that's Jasmine Felicia Crockett. So, like, why even expend your energy?
So this is taking social media by storm, at least Threads. This is big on Threads. I'm sorry, I haven't been on Threads as much, so I don't know. Shout out to
Threads, the discourse that is happening right now on Threads, it's a little shocking to me because mainly what I'm seeing are, now there was a post up that was like highly inappropriate and was criticizing Jasmine Crockett personally for not supporting Tallarico or going to the Texas Democratic Convention, which is this coming up weekend. And they took it back, but they were dead wrong. Like they personally attacked her, talking about not supporting her. Like it made no sense. It was clearly a personal attack. Outside of that, there are a number of people, particularly Black women that I'm seeing, that are fiercely basically saying, why does Jasmine Tallarico have to support
Jasmine Tallarico?
I'm sorry.
They got married?
Why does
that would be something that would really be unifying for Texas if they was to get married.
Unity is the key, though, to this whole conversation. But why would Jasmine Tallarico?
You want them to get married? Yeah, see?
Am I okay?
This is what happens when you start getting at people.
Am I okay?
You get got at.
Fair. They're saying, why should Jasmine Crockett support James Tallarico? She lost the primary. It's not her duty to support him. Why are people making it a Black woman's responsibility to campaign for him? She doesn't have any right to do that. There's a lot of that kind of conversation going on, and I am just shocked by it all because, and this is the main thing. I don't think people are coming to Jasmine Crockett saying, oh, you're a Democrat in Texas. You have a big platform. You were able to rally well over majority of Black votes to vote for you in the primary. You need to get on board and support James Tallarico. I don't think that that's just what's happening. What it is what Jasmine Crockett said when she conceded, and right after the primary ended, in March, right after she lost, Jasmine Crockett said, with the primary behind us, Democrats must rally around our nominees and win. I'm committed to doing my part and will continue working to elect Democrats up and down the ballot. To me, it is just holding Jasmine Crockett to the very statement that she said, which I think it was the right one. The goal is to turn Texas blue. The goal is to unify. I understand people being upset that they voted for Jasmine Crockett and Jasmine Crockett did not win. I understand them being upset that the narrative was a Black woman is not able to win in Texas and they felt like that was used against Jasmine Crockett. I get that. But then to say, Jasmine Crockett has no duty, or to Jasmine Crockett to even she doesn't have a duty, but these are her words. This is what she said we should do. And then for Jasmine Crockett to put up this video of like, why y'all talking about me? Why are y'all making it about me? Well, it's not necessarily that. It's about unifying to come together because for the first time in 31 years, it seems that Texas could actually turn blue. And even more so, the unifying message is important because she's running against Ken Paxton, who we know is awful for a number of reasons, but they're not even rallying the base to support him, the Republicans. John Cornyn has flat out said, I'm not supporting him. So that was another thing to help the Democrats possibly win in this election if the Republicans are split when it comes to who they're going to vote for or support when it comes to who's going to get that Senate seat. So to me, I just don't understand why we're taking it back to the same argument that we were having in the primaries when Jasmine Crockett has called for unity and said that she would rally behind it. Why now, or when asked, are you going to support James Tallarico? Okay, maybe she doesn't go to the convention, fine. But when asked, are you going to support him? Your words are, I have no idea. I'm sorry, it's hypocrisy.
I'm gonna stop it right there, just because I think she makes some good points, but I think that this reflects what we're talking about for the future of both parties. No one, once you lose, it's like I ain't supporting the opposition no matter what, and I think that's what's coming up, and for the next foreseeable future in Democratic and the Republican Party. It's almost like there's 4 different parties fighting for the one party.
I'm staying out of Black women business. That's all I heard. I heard black women got issue, and I'm just gonna let black women figure this out.
Okay, okay, that's fair. Okay.
She made some points. Let's see if the other black woman heard the points. And let's see if the black woman can converse back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Let
And
me
then
ask you something that has
we'll
nothing
figure that out.
absolutely nothing to do with this. Like, absolutely nothing to do with this. What is your thought on party unity when it comes to losing, a primary?
Well, I mean, this all gang shit, bro. Like it's Pyrus, Damus, Rolling 60s, 40s, Grapes, Hoover Street. Like niggas can rep the same flag, but don't really rep the same set. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's blue flag over here, it's Crips over here, nigga. I'm a 60 Crip, cut. Rolling 60, nigga. You got Hoover Street, nigga. Hoover and 60s
Hoover
don't
stomp on them
bang with each
bitches.
other. They don't bang with each other, nigga. Nigga, I think Hoover's is 50th Street and Rolling 60s is 60s. So we talking next door. And they can't borrow sugar from one another. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this is nothing but
You're so right. It's
you
blue
know.
versus red. It's the same fucking thing. I don't know why we're wired that way as human beings. We got to pick blue or red, like
I
But
mean,
even within the blue and within the red, we got to be like, nah, I'm not that red. I'm not that blue.
I'm
Like
not that blue. I'm not that exactly, my nigga.
hmm
Exactly.
But
And
are you
niggas
gonna
will
let?
bang. And niggas will bang on you. Like a blue wearing Seattle Mariners hat wearing ass nigga is
Mm,
gonna bang on a nigga with the New York Yankee fitted. And he gonna say, show your tats, show where you from, show what you represent, and if we ain't got no issues with one another, you can pass. But if we got an issue, or if one of your homies did something, or if you ain't got, then we gotta get down right here, right now.
so I wonder,
And
yeah, Jasmine must got an issue then.
got an
She
issue.
must got an issue. She
She
just
got
don't
an
want to
issue.
say it.
What's her middle name? Jasmine. She put a lot. She put a lot something in there, so you know, nigga. Jasmine love Crockett, nigga.
Oh,
She
her
out
middle
with
name is
none of.
Felicia.
Oh,
She told she
bye.
told she told Calico, okay, you want all right, bye Felicia. I'm out of here. Figure it out. You work on getting that black vote. Good luck.
That's because I mean, honestly, realistically, like, let's be honest. It is for Talarico to do so.
It is.
Like, so
You're
she's
right.
not wrong,
Mhm.
but to the level of party unity that we speaking about, if the absolute bare minimum of your task is to have Texas blue, then you show face.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sh- you,
If
you,
that
you
if
show,
that
you
that's
show
that'll be a
if you
huge
don't
change.
show face, you lend your voice.
Yo,
That's it's not hard.
flipping Texas, bro. Texas? Even if we don't love Tyreek, like flipping Texas blue, yo, you can freaking primary him another time next time. But flipping it blue is a great step in the right direction for this country.
You flip it blue, and as a supporter, as an endorser, as a person who has a seat in a prominent position, you can hold him accountable. So it's not like you submitting over or conceding power.
Yeah.
It's still equal. Like because if she would have won, right?
Yeah.
She would still have to be held accountable and have to battle within her party to
100%.
make
Yeah.
sure that she gets to do what she ran on to her constituents, and she would need the support. So
It's so
you know,
fast how
it's a
things can
black woman's
change
problem though.
because
It's a black woman's problem. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's a black woman, bro. I'm not going to like hate on her. She makes her own choice. I would love, for her to help turn next Texas blue because that would be monumental. However, it can't be easy getting smeared. It can't be easy losing a race and in a way that maybe you think is underhanded. And politics is dirty, so to then say, you know what, yeah, I'm going to help you. Sometimes you're like, no,
Well,
I'm
it
gonna.
was nothing dirty about her loss though. She just didn't have the fun.
I think she there was something she said that made me feel like there might have been something underhanded when it came to the money. And when we looked it up with Tallarico, there was money involved in it, and that's what I think that people were missing. That there was like, certain donors that she was acting like, dude, this dude still got donors like that. You guys are acting like he don't got like
No, but
PAC money and
that's
all that
not.
shit.
That to her point. That's fair, but to my thing is now we're in a situation where because he's funded. Because hear me out. 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 Non-problematic money back in Jasmine. Does that matter to her? Yes or no? Because if she got non-problematic money that boosted her 10 million to make it an even playing field and she still lost, then what will be the thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and then there was another thing with like the day of the vote. Certain things happened where how it was counted. I heard there was some. I don't remember. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk too much because I don't want to disparage, what happened in Texas. But
I think Gary Chambers actually spoke about it, but I'm gonna go back and watch that episode. He did it with
okay,
Stephen A. I'm gonna try
yeah.
to find back and we'll
Why she
wrap around.
lost? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was not.
Um.
She lost some black votes. Well, not she didn't lose black votes. She didn't get enough black voters to come out with the number of registered black voters available.
Okay, I
That
got you.
was a big
That would have
thing
made a
that
big
Gary
difference.
spoke on.
Yeah.
That would have made a big difference for her.
Yeah.
If she would have campaigned, and Gary said it, she didn't do her due diligence or her campaign. I think we talked about it, but we wasn't on a
Yeah, we
show.
weren't live. Yeah.
But her campaign wasn't stealth. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't barrier proof for her, and she need for her,
And she needed
and
everything she can
she
get
needed
with the
everything she
black
can
vote.
get.
Yeah, because she was very, very much going with a strategy that was, I don't give a fuck about you Trump fuckers out here. I'm not trying to appeal to the other side. I'm very strong in my side, and that could win because she's a fighter. But whereas how Rico had a much more approachable approach to how he garnered votes, I completely see where it could have
She lost
gone
by
left.
roughly 7%. Roughly
Okay,
about 7%, and I'm about
seven
to see if I
points,
can get
man.
any
Seven
hard
points, man.
numbers.
But
7% is pretty.
but with a weakened Republican Party out there, because the other guy, he's not trying to help Ken win at all.
Yeah,
He's like,
no, no,
fuck
no.
that
He said,
nigga.
"Fuck that nigga. I lost. He losing,
Let it go blue. Like, I think
nigga.
this is a real
It's Pyro
opportunity.
over here, cuz nigga. But you know what I'm saying, nigga. I rep the five, nigga. He don't give a fuck about
Oh
that.
shit, man. Yo, man, you hit the nail on the head, man. That's just hacks. It's gang
Nigga, this
shit for real.
T-top, nigga, this T-top, nigga, whatever they do it, nigga.
It's, this is real gang shit, bro. But if the blue can come together, man, it could really swing this shit, because black men and women will listen to Jasmine Crockett out there. I like if she really did step up and showed unity, especially black women, like, oh, they were like, all right, this is it's a bigger cause. So because she has a voice. I mean, Jasmine Crockett has a I don't know what her future is. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene is out. I mean, what's funny because they had that viral moment, but now they're both out of the house, and they're like I'm going to say queens, but without a court. But they both have a voice, I'll say, and that's where they go next. I don't know, but Jasmine, I'm gonna pay attention to where she goes because she definitely can shake some shit up in Texas if she really keeps on pushing the pavement, and if she does hop on board to help Chalico, it will be, especially if it's like at the last minute to like push him across the barriers. Because you said how much percentage points is he down right now?
So when I looked at it, it shows right now that it's bare. It's a percentage point.
Oh
It's
wow.
43 to 42. Paxson, as of June 22, which was 2 days ago, and the article was posted June
Okay.
23, which was yesterday. It shows Paxson has a percentage point lead over Tallarico, 43 to 42. And the new polls result also come from when, like you said, Paxson did not get the endorsement from Corn. So, he's fighting an uphill battle right now himself. So the poll was conducted amongst 1,200 self-reported registered voters from June 5th to June 12th and has a margin of error of a plus minus 2.83% and 3.47% adjusted. So there is some margin of error to where it might be the other way around, depending on if they run it again. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. But a percentage point is not that much. Not that much. And
Yo, this
considering,
reminds me of the Andrew Gillum Ron DeSantis race a little bit.
yes, it does
Andrew
a little
Gillum
bit.
lost by like 0.4%.
0.4%.
That's
0.4%. Yeah, we
that's
just talked about that.
unheard of, bro. He could have
0.4%, bro.
changed the history of this country by just being the governor
The governor
of
of Florida.
Florida and changing, like, being a blue representative for the
Man,
state.
you know how much
Damn.
wet you could have got if you was governor, cuz you just had to hold on to your urges a couple more.
Oh my
Man,
God, yo.
you know how much
Yo,
blowing hookers you could have got as a
oh
governor,
my
cuz.
God. Point four is that's gut wrenching, bro. That is gut wrenching. Even just hearing it now,
I
I
I ain't
feel some
gonna
type of
hold
way.
you. That might push you to crystal meth.
Oh my goodness, bro. Oh nah, I can't with you, dog. Man, shout out to Andrew Gillum, man. He's over there on the what's that podcast? With Angela Rye. Uh,
He with Angela Rye?
yeah, man, he has a podcast with
I know
Angela
them
Rye.
niggas ain't. I know them niggas ain't up to no good. Them two niggas.
Angela Rye, man, she's something.
And she is something. She's something. She's something. My nigga Common had to get a piece of that one time down. He had to get a piece of that political punani. All right, we about to pivot because I'm about to
Okay,
rail. Cause
yeah,
I'm okay.
let's pivot, yo, let's pivot, man. Listen, we're talking the housing bill, the Native Land Pod. That's what it is. Yeah, shout out to them. But we're talking the housing bill, man. Chris, you lead it off. You talk about it.
Episodic power. Uh huh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So yes, I was again. My main source of information is Twitter. Shout out to Twitter. So I am
You
scrolling,
know
of
that she's
course.
dating Jalen Rose.
Wait, DJ Rose? Like immaculate shape of Jalen Rose?
Oh man, she's well. Oh, she dated him. She's not dating him anymore.
She
She
left. She
dated
left for. She left for a Midwest nigga. Do she not?
light
She
skinned
went.
Midwest dude. You got Common, Kareem Webb. You know who that is?
No. He actor? Sound like an actor.
And then she dated also Jalen Rose back in 2023, 2022. Yeah. So she
Shout out
has.
to Jalen, nigga. He went from Molly to Angela.
I know, right?
You
Not
know,
bad.
not bad at all. Nigga, I'm sorry. We have breaking news.
What's up?
Lions quarterback Terrion Arnold has been arrested in connection with the armed robbery and kidnapping in Tampa, Florida earlier this year and is facing multiple felony charges that carry a maximum sentence of life in prison.
What? Fuck.
According to the police and prosecution records, Tampa police identified Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold as a primary conspirator in a targeted armed robbery and kidnapping on February 4th that left 3 victims injured after they were held at gunpoint, beaten, and pistol whipped.
By
Authorities
Terrion
say
Arnold?
yes.
What?
Authorities, as he's doing a podcast with Patrick Surtain II, you had no idea that boy was about any of that life.
Lunatic. That's the word. That's the word that the president of the United States used against a senator from his own party today. It was during a lunch with Republicans on Capitol Hill, and it deteriorated into a shouting match. It was Senator Bill Cassidy who was the target of Trump's lunatic insult. And he said, he's talked about the context. So he said he was talking to Trump about the war. He went on to say this. He said, quote, "You have not told the American people what's going on. It was supposed to last for 4 weeks. It's lasted 4 months." Cassidy goes on to say to reporters, he did not particularly care for my comments. And then Cassidy went on to describe how the temperature escalated from there.
The president didn't want to hear my question, interrupted me. I didn't care to be interrupted. I felt like I was trying to get answers for the American people. And I'm not going to be bullied when I'm trying to get answers for the American people.
President Trump then told Cassidy to sit down. Cassidy said that he wouldn't, which he referred to there. So that's when Trump called him a lunatic, according to our excellent reporting by Manu Raju. And then something really odd happened in the meeting. So Trump complained that the Pennsylvania Senator Dave McCormick missed yesterday's Iran war vote. Now, Politico is reporting that that complaint was there. And now Trump, of course, has said that missed vote is why the Senate voted down his war powers. Okay, so fine. But there's something really odd about this. And what's odd about it is that McCormick missed that vote because he was with Trump. I mean, literally, he was with Trump. There they are at a Mack Trucks factory in Pennsylvania. So it's a little bit jarring to hear Trump complaining about McCormick for the failure of the bill and the rebuke from Republicans when Trump, to state something very basic, should have known and remembered where McCormick was. But after all of this, Trump put a positive spin on the whole lunch when he spoke to reporters.
I think we had a really great meeting, and we're very proud of the party. We like our leader. We like everybody really in the room. I don't like a few people, but that's okay. But for the most part, we have a really well-unified party.
Okay, it's not a unified party. Neither party's unified right now, but certainly not the Republican Party. And that whole episode behind closed doors with yelling and insults follows the public humiliation that Republicans suffered at the hands of Trump earlier today. Right, so there was this big humiliation, then there was the yelling lunch. So here's how that part went down. It was the first bipartisan housing affordability bill in...
Wait, before we go into that, let's get our man's back in here. All right, we good.
It's an echo, but we good.
Echo for echo. Okay. Is there still an echo?
Nope.
All right. So that video I just showed, I was just showing there's a lot of turmoil going on with the Republicans because Trump calls somebody a lunatic because they dare press him, but in public he's like, no, it's all good, So that was that part of the video. But here's where we get into the housing bill, and then we're going to show you the tweet that calls into question this housing bill real quick.
Decades. It was about to be signed on Capitol Hill. It was all pomp and circumstance. 12 noon, it was scheduled. They had it all set up, flags, podium, desk, all fancy, ready to go. 10:15, the speaker, right, is Republican, proud of this whole thing, holds a press conference to brag about the bill.
We're going to bring the American dream back within the grasp of hardworking American families. Critical to do, great policy.
Okay, great policies helping hardworking Americans. Those are Republicans. Steve Scalise behind him. They're proud of this. Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is proud of it. On Twitter, she calls the bill one of the most significant pieces of housing affordability legislation in American history. So everybody's excited. Then at 10:26, Trump drops a bomb. He says, quote, today's housing news conference and signing is hereby canceled until such time as we pass the desperately needed all caps Save America Act, which I consider to be a national emergency. So Republicans who had hoped to run on affordability, right? They put the word affordability that has resonated so much in primaries across the country in all of their talking points there. Were just derailed by their own president for what? The Save America Act. So what is that? Well, it's a bill about voting. And that, of course, is Trump's prized topic, right? Rigged elections. The bill includes several things, one of which is a proof of citizenship requirement. That specific thing actually was struck down by a federal judge today who said it was illegal for Trump to implement this requirement through executive order. So now Trump only has one way to get his proof of citizenship through, and that is getting it through Congress. But the Senate, because of Trump's own party, again, his own party, this unified party, is saying no. Listen to Senator Lisa Murkowski.
My fear is that it would result in disenfranchising voters who have been voting for decades.
Senator Tom Tillis, also a Republican, said, quote, we should not be completely upending how states already securely conduct their elections. Even if this issue is fixed, the Save America Act still will not have the 60 votes required to pass it. And Trump ally Senator Rick Scott, who is for the actual act, told Trump directly today that they just simply do not have the votes to pass it. He said, quote, I'm a business guy. You have to live in reality. The reality is, though, that when it comes to this, the voting bill matters more to Trump than the housing bill championed by his own party, right? He canceled their big party. According to Punchbowl, Trump said in March behind closed doors, quote, no one gives a blank about housing. Sounds a lot like this.
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
They were going to have a win.
Oh, it's like Lucy in the football with this guy. I mean, literally, the Republicans have something positive to say. They did something for housing. You see young people out here voting all kind of ways people don't like. Part of it is these young people can't buy a house.
Yeah, I mean,
So
affordability, by the way, the single biggest aspect of it is housing.
That's it. And so you finally have one nice thing, one thing Republicans have done for America, and Trump just snatches it back for a very bad voting bill. Now, by the way, I'm for voter ID. People say you have to have an ID to buy a beer. That's true, but you don't have to have a passport to buy a beer. What Trump is trying to do to voting is not the normal stuff that 80% of Americans want. It's so extreme that other Republicans don't want this extreme burdensome thing on our voting rights. So for a bill Republicans don't want, he's taking away the things that everybody wants. You can't have nice things with Donald Trump as president.
I mean, Paul.
Yeah. There's a lot. Our president is obviously looking out for self, as always, and he's dragging his party down with him. And I know, Chris, this is not the part of the topic that you were really trying to touch on. I'm going to bring up the tweet in a moment. But I do think that it's noteworthy that while this bill that might have some provisions that are questionable, to say the least, we also know that this president doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He wants to make sure that he can rig the elections going forward. I just want to make that clear to the voter, to the people who are out here watching us, who are, who might be voting, with the Save America Act up there. The Republicans don't want it. The Democrats don't want it. The president does. And he's torpedoing his own party's bill on affordability because of this. So this is the man y'all voted in. Congratulations. You played yourself.
I first and foremost, I just wanted to let you know that we're not live. We're not. No, I don't even see the red button recording up top here. Are you
I
recording?
see it. I see it recording. I see it every. Oh my
Okay, you see, you see,
God,
you see,
bro.
you see it.
I see it. I
No,
see it.
if you're recording, that's fine. We can use it as a segment, but I do not see us saying like
I
we're
see us on
live on.
Twitch.
Oh, you do see us on Twitch right now.
Yeah, and I should be. We should be live on YouTube too.
Um. Okay. I'm sorry to derail us.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Just making clear, making sure that the technical difficulties are
The
handled.
technical, exactly. Um. Yeah, I don't see the live marker, but that.
Where don't you see it? What are you looking at? Both?
Hello. Am I
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Okay.
I see you. You're here. You don't see us on either.
No, I just went on YouTube and didn't see us for this particular segment, and then I can go on Twitch and see. Let me go on Twitch and see.
Yeah, YouTube might have an issue because it says it's buffering right now, but it says green. We should be. So if
Okay,
there's anything with my
we are live on Twitch right now. Okay. So we are live right now on Twitch. That is a true thing right now. And as far as YouTube, we are not live on YouTube, but I just wanted to, because it did, like I said, I usually see the on air thing for us, but I didn't see that. So I also just wanted to make sure that even if we wasn't on air and you just wanted to collect this as like a saved segment that we can chop up, I just wanted to make sure at least that you was recording it there. But if
No,
you
yeah,
got
I'm
it live,
definitely recording it. We
okay,
got it on Twitch at least, so that's good.
okay. Um,
I'm gonna throw it.
but
I'm gonna. No, go ahead.
no, what you say? What you gonna say? What you gonna say, brother?
No, no, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna get us on YouTube while you're talking.
Okay.
Or if we're not.
I just I think when you spoke about that's not what I wanted to speak about, which was Trump. That's true, but in all factuality, the thing that I want to talk about is not something to talk about if it's not involving Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, only
you know
because
what I mean?
the
Like
full context of the
the full
situation
context
that
of
even
exactly,
though it passed, it's not getting pushed through. I want to also, make sure that people
absolutely.
are aware of that. You know, but yeah, let me see if I can pull up the tweet.
But even that though, like even the fact that so the context of
Nigga really
what
think
you
he's
just
a
brought,
fucking king, bro.
that's what I'm saying that when we're talking about the word kingmaker, right? When we use that word kingmaker earlier, and why we don't like it's because I believe it gives a false
Yeah, we didn't get to
entitlement.
really talk about that.
It
Yeah, a
gives
lot
a
of people are going around calling Mamdani Kingmaker in the papers and in the thumbnails and stuff like that. Me and you both don't fuck with that title because, like, you're right. Like, we are a group of people that are democratically elected, and I don't know if we need to put any type of royalty on these guys. It must be like a laud, the efforts of people going into Congress that represent our values. Yeah, I don't know what the kingmaker title either, because he's not making kings even. He's not a king himself, but he is giving people the opportunity to fight for causes that can really impact and better the lives of people. So I hear you, but when we
but that's not what a king would do though, realistically. Like if Trump will revel in the
exactly.
idea of being called a kingmaker, right? Because relatively that will mean that I am a king myself, and therefore I can make other people myself, right? So as we're in this, this kind of topic that we're talking about this um
Sorry, you too. I don't know what's going on, but go
It's just fine.
ahead.
The segment will be up on YouTube for sure.
All
You
right.
know what I'm saying? But I think that the major thing here, of why he's important to this and why we have to talk about this is because again, the House passed a
A
housing bill.
bill, bipartisan.
They passed a bipartisan. They passed a housing bill that would limit the institutional ownership of housing, meaning that corporate landlords or hedge funds or other large for-profit entities will be able to own no more than 350 homes. So, again, this blocks large corporations or hedge funds or for-profit entities to buy up neighborhoods and sit on them. You can't have no more than 350 homes. That was what was just passed. And so there's a ton of provisions that were included in here. But this is why in our monologue we said there were some good and some things that are skeptical that causes you to say, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because right now in this provisions, they are removing regulatory barriers and streamlining environmental reviews to increase development of affordable housing. Okay, they are updating requirements to expand manufactured housing production. They are creating an innovation fund for communities to build more housing supply. They're establishing better community banking and loan options. They're supporting housing opportunities for veterans. They are permanently authorizing a major disaster recovery program. So, with all of what I'm saying, this is what she was stating in the video of the CNN interview that she was running, as far as the Republicans actually have something that they can bring to the constituents that can possibly lure in Democratic voters to their, hey, we're running on this affordability too. It's not such a bad word to us. We passed this bill. We signed on this bill. My name is voted publicly on this, so like they were saying, that was a win for some guys that needed the win. And right now they're doubling down on their winning if they're not paying attention. Those who are speaking up, unfortunately, I know Rick Scott, he ain't got a lot of votes in my household. But for Rick Scott to be like, hey, listen, not right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, not right now with this thing.
He said you
Not
just
right now
gotta
with this
be,
thing.
you gotta be living reality. That's what he just.
He said, brother, I'm the businessman. Okay. This is not good for business. Because here in Florida, you got to think about what they was just trying to do over the last election, which they did. A large portion of the Latino voting population came out in droves in this state, right? So for them to then be turned on by the party that they voted for, saying that you're even not eligible to vote because you don't even have this documentation, right? You are living here, you're not a United States citizen. The line for to take the test is goddamn about 3 years.
Oh wait, time out. I want people to realize that you cannot vote if you're not a citizen. Like, so the Latinos were not voting that weren't citizens. Just real quick.
It's making citizens find documentation that they did not have to present previously to vote.
Yeah, and this is all people, Republican, Democrats. So yeah, you're right. But the
Correct.
Latinos that were voting were citizens. That's just like
but to the point of why this is why this act is so we say a lot of legislation is to hurt Black people, right? We say this legislation, this SAVE Act, is to hurt immigrants. It is to hurt, and to a large majority of people who consider themselves migrants here are from that community. So I don't want to necessarily, like you say, speak out of turn, but those citizens who have citizenship will then have to then provide more than, hey, I'm a citizen, right? Which I think is the barrier that a lot of people are fighting against. So let me go ahead and just verify, because the barrier that's necessary. What is the barrier and the SAVE Act that has people worried?
Real quick, while you search that up, I want to just continue with this.
Still doesn't get to 60. But you heard Murkowski, you hear Tillis, you hear Vance. He doesn't even have them all. But he can't let this go for the sake of anything else, right? I mean, you can't even get the win and then deal with it later.
It's going to be an interesting summer. The UFC has ended, but the cage fighting is just getting started. And I think it's important to remember, Trump's not good at legislation. It requires negotiation, it requires compromise, it requires getting along with people from the other side. And he doesn't like doing that. He's a snowplow. He likes to go full force, all gas, no brakes without stopping for anyone. And I think it's really important that he's focusing on the SAVE Act because he's focusing on the elections. He's always focusing on the elections because he has to protect his power. And he knows that free and fair elections this fall will mean accountability. It could mean impeachment. It could mean prison. He knows that that is America's circuit breaker. That's why he continues to prioritize it. It's not random. It is strategic. He doesn't care about housing. He said that before, even though most of America does. It is a win for the Republican Party if they can get it. He cares about power. And the most important thing in protecting his power is the SAVE Act.
So
Yeah. So yeah, like you're saying, he honestly is doing this to protect his power, because I do believe that if you're forced to, like even me, I'm a registered voter, I've voted before. Right now, I might need to change my ID because it's expired, for instance, to get to go vote. And if I missed the deadline, oops, sorry, you couldn't vote for your midterm, your favorite candidate. So because your ID is a little expired, So these are the little things that we'll do. If they minimize the voting pool, it gives Republicans a better chance. If they expand it, we all know where the country lies. As much as you want to say, oh, America's racist, America is. Majority of Americans, if you tell them policy by policy, will align more with a Democrat than a Republican. Because Republicans are usually going for people with money. People with money, and they use the culture war things to convince the uneducated people that, hey, somebody's taking your job, and that's the reason why you should vote. Oh, somebody's trying to make your kid gay. That's the reason why you should vote. Oh, somebody, is an immigrant's coming in and change, the open borders thing. That's where they really get a majority of the uneducated voters to then come out and vote for them. But if you go by policy, those poor Latino, poor white, poor black people, all of them should be voting Democrat because they are more socially aware, and their policies will help them with more health care, more child care, and all that stuff that will help them their lifestyle. But he don't give a fuck about this housing bill. He don't give two shits about this house. He clearly said it. This is all about protecting and the Voting Rights Act. But go ahead. I know you got some information, right?
Yeah. So I think the real, like you said, to counterpoint, like you said, you can't vote if you're not a citizen. But lack of ready access to documents like passport or birth certificates, and to the point of birth certificate, if you're a nationalized U.S. citizen, you don't necessarily need a birth certificate to vote as it is right now.
Yeah.
But if they pass it, then you'll need a birth certificate. So that's why I was speaking out of turn as far as foreign-born individuals who are citizens right now that are registered to vote. They have to prove their eligibility with newly issued federal documents rather than a birth certificate. So, and to your point, passports, it's a long line for passports. You can't necessarily get your passport. A lot of right now, a valid passport is universally accepted across all states as a standalone proof of ID. But if you don't have your passport, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on, Kelly.
Yeah, listen.
America.
To America. Do you have your passport? Do you have your shots? Do you want to go to America?
You have your
America!
shots.
Do you have your shot? Listen, they're gonna be
Yo,
they're gonna be at the podium
yo, do you
polls.
have your
Do you
shot?
have your passport?
We going to
Do
the
you?
embassy, ho. Do you have your shot? Because I don't need no hold ups.
Listen, man, that's wild. That is wild. But
That is wild.
that's why, yeah,
So
it's gonna be hard for
yeah,
people to pull up a passport or if they don't got the voting ID and all that stuff. And this is even rural
and
people
it's gonna be
the
disproportionate
Midwest.
to married women. To married women. Name mismatches. An estimated 60
Oh,
to 69 million married American women have changed their last name due to marriages, meaning their legal name on their current photo ID does not match the name on their birth certificate.
I didn't even think about that. That's thank you for that. That's deep. So yeah. Do you
Under
have your
strict
passport? No, sorry. Go
under
ahead, go
under
ahead.
the under the strict rules of the bill, these women will have to navigate additional confusing administrative hurdles like tracking down and presenting your marriage certificate. Well, no, man, we have our marriage certificate at the crib, but
Okay.
but you have to. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you got some
It's just
people.
unnecessary. It's tedious. You gotta go through maybe a safe deposit box. You gotta find the key. You gotta go under your bed, go in the back of the closet, and when you can
Let's
just like,
just
yo,
let's just
I didn't
but
have to
let's
do all
just
this last time.
but let's just talk about California. They just had the fires. People
Oh my
lost everything.
God, yo,
Right, like you gotta like now you
yeah,
gotta like
that's
really
true.
put things in perspective. Like people lost everything. Some people didn't think to put in a safe, fireproof safe, or their photos, the marriage certificate, everything was original birth certificates. I know I
Yeah.
got my original birth certificate. I be on me all the time about my birth certificate, my social security card, the original. Make sure it goes back into the safe because if you don't have it, nigga, you are shit out of luck. And I'm like, well, I got two Christophers, so I'm pretty good. You know what I mean?
There's
We
two
got
of
same,
them.
we got same name, same birth
Listen,
month. Nigga,
man.
I could just white on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, word up. Yeah, word up, bro. You can figure it out. I'm voting one way or another.
Y'all other niggas is out, but me and CJ, we good.
We good. But yeah, man. So you put it really in perspective, why he wants it so bad. Even the Republicans are like, yo, dude, you're bugging. Like, this is not gonna happen.
You
You're
tripping, bro.
you tripping,
You
bro.
tripping. You
But
tripping. Because my bitch ain't even got her name right now. She don't know where her paper at.
she don't
Nigga.
have her passport. She don't got her shot.
Nigga,
Listen,
what is Melania? What's Melania's first real last name, nigga? She don't
word.
know. Nigga.
Word up.
You
But I
out here
do
tricking some
believe, like,
13.
even if this were to pass, there's some issues that, we would have encountered. Right now, it's
Absolutely.
held up because we need the executive branch, the president, to sign off on this bill that was bipartisan. Typically, there's no president in history that would have done this, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This guy's fucked up. This guy's unprecedentedly bad for America, bro. He's not even trying. He's not even trying to like represent the people. You got Republicans and Democrats saying, "All right, let's go ahead and let's do this," and
Nigga,
he's not even trying.
yes,
This
he
is a win for
said it.
him. This
Hold
is a
on,
win
he
for
said it.
him.
They asked him, they said, do you care about the people? The nigga flat out said, no, I don't think about these motherfuckers at all. But excuse me, are you done with this interview? I got Mar-Largo. Yeah, like he said it. So like we don't have to pretend anymore that he don't care. The
Yo, oh my
direct
God,
question
yo, have you
was
seen?
asked, do you care about the American people and their financial? I don't think about them niggas at all. Okay, so Mr. President,
Insane.
why are you making all of these decisions? Not for the American people? Huh? The people? Nigga, the equivalent of fuck them kids, nigga. Nigga, he looked at how many people in America? He looked at all how many of us and said,
He
I
don't
ain't
give
doing nothing
two
for
shits.
y'all.
Yo, have you seen Dean, your guy, Dean Withers, how he was all surrounded with some of these MAGA women? Yo, he looked exasperated, like he was befuddled with how the propaganda they're deep,
No,
bro. They are
no,
lost.
women slow.
Oh my God, these MAGA women
Women are women are,
they're
and
deep
that's the
in
thing
the
because
trenches with it.
now you got to think about a normal woman. A normal woman that you got to deal with, you be like, damn, she got some issues. Nah, I gotta work through this. A MAGA woman, you might as well like, nigga, where is the barn so I can motherfucker do it myself? Because I don't
Yo,
see
it's
how you can be with a woman and she a MAGA supporter. I don't even know if my dick would get hard though.
yo, go watch that shit. I'm not sure if you
She
want to
may have,
cover it, but I want you to at least watch it for the
yeah, I'm
absurdity
absolutely.
of it.
I would love to cover Dean to let
Yeah,
him see what we talk
yo,
about.
it's insane how bad it is when it comes to the propaganda and how hard stance they are on this Trump guy and what the things that they'll say to defend him, even though he clearly as day is not trying to help you at all. He don't give two fucks about you. But yeah, I'm gonna bring up the tweet. Let's check out the tweet, and then I'm also gonna bring up my fact check on the tweet because there's some truths, but there is an angle on there that we want to just make sure is addressed as well, just so we have the clarity of what is going on. Where's the tweet? It's right here. All right. So on the bill, we have this Hannibal 999 who's saying that we are being tricked with this housing bill. He said it does not ban corporate landlords, it protects them and enforces the oligopoly. Uh-oh. Gotta charge my headset. Battery's low.
Ah, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay.
So he says the legislation bans institutional investors from buying new homes if they own 350 more units. First thing I want to say is 350 units is a lot. It's a lot already. I can't imagine owning 350 homes, bro. That's a lot. And you
But
want
it's
to
not you
collect.
owning 350 homes. It's just you got the money to own it and then you pass it off to KB Homes. Like, you know what I mean? Like BlackRock bought the land essentially and funds KB Homes to build the homes. But so they technically kind of possibly, they own the homes. You know what I mean? So like,
Mhm.
so realistically, like we're probably looking
But
at it
when you pay
like
your
that.
mortgage, it goes to KB Homes.
When I pay my mortgage, it goes to Rocket Mortgage. The person who gave me the loan for the home. So
And then
that's
they pay KB Homes.
Rocket Mortgage pays the bank. So and how I believe that the trickle of how this works is essentially the bank and the corporations win as the corporations take the initial loan out from the bank to buy it. We have to take a loan out from the bank to buy it. So the kickback just goes back to when those companies get the tax breaks or the legislations passed, and then the banks get bailed out when they, you know what I mean? Like it's just a big racketeering type of situation of how
Yeah.
that breaks down. So
All right.
go ahead and read it, and I'll get the
So
breakdown of how that works.
all right. So yeah, but for sure, it says who is. So this tweeter or this I don't know. I guess it's called this Hannibal says these are firms who are already brought up the neighborhood. So we got Blackstone Invitation Homes Progressive Residential. So he said, who was trying to buy 350 homes today? Small competitors, private equity firms trying to expand, the regional investors. So by setting the cap at 350, the government has effectively banned any new competitors from entering the market to challenge the already established giants in the market. So the 350 club has been sealed. Blackstone can keep the 50,000 homes they already own. They're safe. But if a new try-hard private equity firm wants to grow 351 units to compete with them, they can't. This is not a restriction. It's a license to exist as a monopoly. It freezes the current power structure in place. It prevents new Wall Street giants from destroying the old Wall Street giants. The incumbents wrote this rule to kill their future rivals. So that's the so two, we got two. They have also a build to rent loophole. It's the 7-year execution. The bill creates an exception for build to rent projects. And I think this is what I don't like about this the most. The insurance.
This is the thing I really hate the most.
Yeah,
There'll be no more home buyers. Essentially,
this is unreal, right?
Yeah.
This kills the American dream. Oh, white picket fence, house. It says that this ensures that there are only new homes built specifically for rent. So the only new homes being built only for rent. An early version of the bill required these build to rent homes to be sold to individual homeowners after 7 years. That means that after 7 years, people who have been living in there can buy the home outright and have a little bit of property, a little bit of land to their name. That's how you build generational wealth. That's how you grow as a family. As this is, we all know what this is. This was designed to eventually turn rentals back into owned homes. This goes to my theory of they're trying to make us rent everything. They want us to rent water. They want us to rent air. They want us to rent Netflix. They want us to rent our entertainment. They want us to rent our internet. They want us to rent our house, our phone bill. Everything is on rent. Everything. Our chat
you own
GPT,
you
everything
own
is,
nothing, bro.
we own absolutely nothing in this country, yo. It's absolutely insane, bro. And so you can't even own a house in the future. This is nuts. An earlier version of the bill required the bill to rent. Now they're taking that out. Congress removed the 7-year sell by provision in the final bill. The reality, Wall Street can now build massive subdivisions of starter homes and rent them out forever. They will never have to sell. They just got permission to become feudal lords on newly built land instead of just buying up old neighborhoods. The government is just incentivized the creation of permanent renter classes on brand new land. Then we have the regulatory strip mine. The bill streamlines environmental reviews and expands the community development block grant. Hidden intent, this is a bribe to big business, hidden inside a populist packaging. Developers have been blocked for years by water rights, zoning, and any NEPA reviews. I'm not sure what NEPA stands for. I'm gonna look that up, but I'm sure that this is an environmental review board. This bill weakens those barriers. The exchange, the left gets to say that they punish Wall Street, the 350 cap. The right gives the developers what they really want, the ability to bypass environmental laws and penalties to build cheap, fast houses without oversight. Then they have the CBDC stealth ban. Section 1001 prohibits Federal Reserve from creating a central bank digital currency until 2030, like a cryptocurrency, I guess. Logic. What does banning digital currency have to do with housing? Nothing. It's completely unrelated subject. But the hidden driver, the anti-CBDC lobbyists used this massive housing bill as a must-pass vehicle to kill digital currency surveillance. Because if a digital dollar existed, the government could track every rent payment. Hedge funds and landlords want privacy. They attached their pet project to the housing relief bill, so no politician could dare vote against it. So by passing the housing bill, Trump also signed the death warrant for Fed-issued cryptocurrency. The housing title was disguised for a financial coup against the Treasury. Who wins? The loser, new startups, private equity firms are trying to enter the market are killed by the 350 cap. The renters, they face permanent future where build to rent is the norm because the law incentivizes corporations to build rental empires rather than sell to families. So that's the long form of what is insidious about this bill. And I really do believe that, you know, there's always going to be something in these bills when you talk about bipartisan that we just not gonna like. Like when there's a bill passed, there's always gonna be something that we don't like. But I'm trying to I'm having a hard time finding the things I do like. I'll be honest with you. But I ran it through a fact checker, my buddy Claude, and it took this. You there? Yeah, I ran it through my fact checker, my buddy Claude. It took this claim by claim. So the claim one was that 350 unit cap protects big landlords by locking out smaller competitors, creating a license to exist as a monopoly. And the verdict on that is that this is partially true as a concern, but overstates it as a conspiracy. They said the underlying logic has some merit and has been raised by legitimate economists and policy critics. The large institution investors currently own about 3% of single family rental market nationally, though the share is much higher in specific Sunbelt cities and metros like Indianapolis and Seattle. The tweet's argument that the cap freezes existing giants in place while blocking new entrants is a real concern that free market economists and the Cato Institute have raised. However, the tweet frames this as an corporate intentional corruption rather than a policy design flaw. The more honest read is that the 350 unit threshold was a political negotiation number, not a precision instrument. The giants like Blackstone do already own far more than 350 units, so the cap essentially grandfathers them while restricting future accumulation. That is a legitimate criticism. Calling it deliberate, a license to exist as a monopoly is an overreach of the evidence. According to Album of the Year. I'm not sure wait, hold up. Wait, what, that makes no sense. It's getting confused.
What happened?
Excuse the Album of the Year comment. I was just trying to say the source. The source got mixed up with something else. So they're saying that it's a little bit of overstatement on the monopoly stuff. I don't know, but I do lean more that it is a monopoly because it depends on how much Blackstone units they currently have. I'm gonna
They
look
have
that up.
over 50,000.
They have over
Black
50,000. That's a
they have
lot.
over they have over 50,000 homes
I
right now.
mean, is it a monopoly? No, but that's a lot more than anybody else is even close to being able to do.
I mean, that goes back to your monopoly reference that we had a couple days ago. If you give somebody a head start and they have a bunch of times to collect some money, and then they buy 50,000 homes, by the time it's time for you to build a house, bro, when you play Monopoly, what happens when there's no more homes?
You gotta rank me.
Niggas gotta be like, oh, I gotta build a hotel now, right? Like we're in real game form, nigga. You can buy too many houses. Niggas can be so like, oh, I'm putting a house here, I'm putting two houses there. Like by the time like, there is a real monopoly in that.
Yeah. Do you believe, especially if you're in a certain like part of the country where it's just only BlackRock? Yeah, it could be like seen as that. Do you think that we should, or that we'll get to a place in America where we break up like the ownership of these properties? Is that something that you can feasibly see happening in this country, or is it something that we're
Nigga,
just stuck?
not what motherfuckers signing mergers left and right. And I'm not saying that Trump is the only one that signed mergers, bro. Like, Time Warner, was was a merger back in the day with Charter, and I don't believe that was I gotta look that up, but it wasn't Trump. What I'm saying is, so like all bad, mergers and things like that conglomerated,
Mhm.
media or housing or whatever the case may be, banks fold into one another. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I think
true.
I used to have a Wachovia bank account. I think that shit is just straight Regions right now. Like Regions them bought out banks. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
So without
what?
it
So
being consolidated, you don't see it breaking up. You see more likely it combining with another big
yeah,
company rather
yeah.
than any type of breakup happening.
No, I
All
don't. I
right.
don't see that. Yeah.
Okay. Claim two that the 7-year sell-by provision was removed, allowing permanent feudal built to rent empires. The verdict, sure, and this is the most substantive criticism in the tweet. The Senate earlier version required to build to rent single family homes to be sold to individual homeowners after 7 years. Man, me and you
Yeah.
just this is what me and you were saying. This is the one that we hate the most, and this is like it's turning us into a culture of existing as a complete funnel of cash to specific big large companies no matter where you turn, and not having to own nothing. And we could true true ownership, I mean, true wealth is when you own something, you know, when you truly own your intellectual property, when you truly own your land, when you truly own your car. Truly, these things matter because you're constantly, if you don't own it, it's only a funnel of your income
But
constantly,
we talk about this
nonstop.
in music all the time though. Niggas don't even necessarily own their name, right? We look at a guy like John Cena. I think he leased his name out to Vince McMahon. His real name was John Cena. You know
John
what I'm
Cena's
saying?
become, and I like the guy a
Dwayne,
lot, but he's become like a real life superhero action figure, but owned by WWE in a sense, even though he's retired, where you're a commodity. And that's got to be weird. That's got to feel weird, some type of way. And I just think that should never be the case where a person can lose their name to a degree. I'm not
but
sure. I'm
that's
not
what I'm
sure how
saying.
much. I'm not sure what
But that
percentage he gives WWE after doing movies or whatever.
But
But
what I'm saying
still,
is he doesn't have full control, autonomy of his name, right? He can't be John Cena after being John Cena, right? You know what I mean? Like, from what I understood, when The Rock got on the board for TKO, Dwayne Johnson, he wanted the rights to that name. He
The Rock,
he
yeah.
needed he needed that
But
name
that's a little bit different because
because
that's a whole like a made up entity.
but this is what I'm trying to say. The made up entity in himself, Dwayne Johnson, they had to merge together because him on his own, the own merit of Dwayne Johnson didn't move a lot. Right. So we just talking about owning stuff like the necessary to be like, damn, my name Dwayne Johnson. I have to own a moniker of myself in order for me to present myself the way that I want to present myself. So ownership to your point of is very important. If Dwayne Johnson doesn't require access, doesn't get the acquisition of The Rock, then he can't make all of the buku revenue or residuals off that name for in the future. You know what I'm saying? It's like a pub deal with music. You license your pub off for a certain amount of time, and after 25 years, it's a reversion. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, niggas don't really value ownership right now, and America's corporate structure allows us not to understand it so much because it's a restrictive space. It's not inclusive. To own something is exclusivity. You know what
That's
I'm
what it
saying?
is. Yeah, it's like they're closing the gate to people being able to have that true exclusivity. They are trying to, as we say, the American dream is dead. They're trying to make it even further away for even people who have money. Like I'm sure there's millionaires who don't own their house. I'm sure there are millionaires who own their car. But even for them, they're not going to be able to truly exist in a place of freedom. Because if you're not truly free, if you don't own anything, Like once you own something, then you can be free. You own this plot of land, like you can do what you want here. And actually, if it gets sold, or if you pass away, your grandparents or your grandkids can own it, and they can live there, and they can, if you have a farm, they can grow. Or let's say you sell it with all the equity that's been built with all the years in that house or that farm or whatever goes to your family. No, they're giving up farms to China right now, and equity firms there. They're giving up their houses to big companies, and we essentially become indentured servitude, but on a mass scale, to a bunch of corporations, and the biggest one being the United States corporation, to be honest with you, which is sick. Is sick to me, man. So that's a flat out true claim that the 7-year self grid is essentially making a permanent feudal empire, which is unreal that we are going backwards to feudalism right now. And right before our eyes, we're going back to feudalism, and we're bipartisan. They're like, yeah, let's do that. Let's take that out. And it's a problem, man. That's a big issue, man. Hopefully we can reverse that one day, but this is sickening, bro. Claim 3. You got anything to say before I go through claim 3?
Go ahead.
The environment review streamlining is hidden bribe to developers to bypass oversight. They said this is selectively true framing of a real provision, but presented as more sinister than the record supports. The bill does not include deregulation provisions to reduce permitting timelines and streamline reviews. These provisions have been criticized by housing advocates as tilting toward developer interest, but these are not hidden. Are you gone? You still with me, bro?
I'm here.
I don't know what the hell's going on, man, with the video. The tweet represents it as a corrupt backroom deal when it's actually one of the most publicly argued portions of the bill. And then they got the claim 4, CBDC ban has nothing to do with housing. It was secretly attached to kill the digital currency tracking of landlords. It said half true on the facts, conspiratorial on the motive. The bill does include a provision prohibiting Federal Reserve from issuing a central bank digital currency. The ban runs until 2030, not permanently, and exempts any digital currency that is open, permissionless, and private. It is true that this has nothing to do with housing. Unrelated provisions get attached to the must-pass legislation constantly. This is standard congressional practice, not conspiracy. The tweet-specific claim that the landlords attached it to hide rent payment tracking is speculation, presented as established fact. The CBDC ban language was championed by Republicans who have long opposed digital dollar for privacy and monetary policy reasons unrelated to the rental market. Overall tweet is about 40% accurate fact, 40% legitimate policy criticism dressed up as conspiracy, and 20% speculation presented as documented intent. But that 350 cap grandfather plans and the 7-year self-buy provision is the biggest thing. And I'm just hoping that everybody can be aware of that right now it hasn't been passed because of the stubborn president. But if and when this does pass, the ability to own a house, it just takes it gets further and further away from people like me, and that's kind of hard. It's a hard pill to swallow.
I mean, they don't make it easy for a lot of motherfuckers. I'll tell you that. It wasn't easy necessarily before this either. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. COVID helped a lot of motherfuckers out. COVID helped a lot of people out. So I don't even, I can't even say thank God for COVID, but I gotta say thank God for COVID, nigga, because without that, I think we would have been paying those rent prices right now that people are so desperate to get out of, and they're paying rent because a motherfucker can charge anything. You don't know what their mortgage is. You know what I'm saying? Like a nigga can charge you 2,500, 3,000 for rent, and they mortgage motherfucking 1,200. So they'll pay their mortgage and that's how it really go. Like that's the real hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like if we were ever to rent our house out, we're not just renting our house out just to pay our mortgage. We're renting the house out so it can pay the mortgage and the expenses. Right? So our mortgage is 23. For sure, we're gonna try to rent it out for 26, 7. You know, 2-car garage, 4-bedroom house, 2-bath, single family home. Like if we ended up fixing it up, cleaning it up, painting it up, you know, getting the grass cut one time, putting the picture out for rent. And for sure, we might in this market, we might even can squeeze a nigga for 3,000. We private too. Like you ain't gotta go through a firm or anything like that. Like you pay us 3,000. Like niggas might jump at that, and for us, nigga, hell yeah, because we get to fucking pay the mortgage, pay and you gotta pay your water. You gotta pay your own internet. You gotta pay your own put the electricity in your name. You know what I'm saying? Or I keep the electricity in my name, and you know what I mean. You gotta pay what that bill is. But yeah, man, essentially, like you can run it up if you know, and if you got like 50,000 homes, 350 homes. Yeah, that number as a full profit is crazy.
Outrageous, bro. It's just like we become a string of landlords, and I'm not sure if I like that, but yeah. Anything else you want to talk about when it comes to sports before we get up out of here?
I mean, we had the NBA draft that happened over the past 2 days. Tonight was night 2 of the draft, but last night was the big night, I guess. Number 1 pick AJ DeBonsa from BYU, the freshman, went to the Wizards. And before I go through the list of people that was picked, I just want to also just say this. 9 out of the top 10 picks were freshmen.
Oh wow. Okay.
9 of the top 10 picks were freshmen. So we got AJ DeBesh 1. Darren Peterson went 2 to the Utah Jazz. Cameron Boozer went to the Grizzlies. I ain't really like that. If anything, I would have swapped it. I would have loved for the Grizzlies to get Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson went to the Bulls at 4. I would have loved, but it would have been hard for niggas to pass on Cameron Boozer. He is a top 3 pick. But I'm only saying I would have liked for him to go to the Bulls because his daddy played for the Bulls. Cameron Boozer is the son of Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer is a legendary Jazz, a legendary Chicago Bulls player. So to see his son go there, I would have liked that. But he ended up going 3 to the Grizzlies. Caleb Wilson went to the Bulls. Keaton Wagler went 5 for the Clippers. Michael Brown Jr. went to the Nets at 6. My biggest pick that I want to see and can't wait to see next year, Darius Acuff Jr. He went 7 to the Sacramento Kings. Kingston Flemings went to the Atlanta Hawks at 8. This is the only non-freshman to get picked in the top 10 right here. Morris Johnson Jr., he went to the Dallas Mavericks, and he was a sophomore. And then rounding out the top 10 was Braden Burris. He went top 10 to the Milwaukee Bucks. But that was for the first part of the draft. That was a good part. It meddled a little bit in the middle a little, but there were some really good players picked. I know Dallas really wanted They got their new coach, Dusty May, who used to coach for the Michigan Wolverines. He just won a national title. He just got paid and went to Dallas. He wanted to draft his player that was coming out, but unfortunately, Oklahoma City, them dastardly bastards, they got him. So Mara is an Oklahoma City Thunder. That was a pretty big pick at 12. With Miami having to trade their first round pick to Milwaukee, they had to trade who Milwaukee wanted. So they got Nate Ament. I think between Nate and Braden, they both going to Milwaukee. That's gonna be really nice. That's a really nice young core from Milwaukee. So they hit on what they needed to hit. One of the bigger names for me for college basketball that ended up going somewhere was Cameron Carr. Cameron Carr ended up being drafted by the Knicks, but traded to the Lakers. That's going to be a big pick. He's a big, athletic, explosive. I won't say big, but he's about, I think he's 6'5", 6'6", but like very athletic. That was a big pick for the Lakers. And the second round happened tonight. And there was only one name that I was looking forward to, and I wanted to see if he fell to the Miami Heat. Unfortunately, he did not, and it's my guy, Isaiah Evans. He played for Duke. He was a dog. I really banged with him, but he's going to Minnesota. So shout out to Minnesota. They got him another young pup out there with Anthony Edwards. They just signed Ayo Dosunmu to a 4-year, 112 deal. So like they making some moves out there. They just traded Julius Randle to Brooklyn. So I don't know what Minnesota got going on, but they
New York.
Yeah, he in Brooklyn, man. I think he missed being in New York, man. I think he missed being in New York. You know what I'm saying? It's cold as hell in Minnesota without shit to do there, nigga. At least it's gonna be cold in New York. Nigga, he can find something to do in New York, nigga. But yeah, so the NBA draft happened these past 2 days. Some really good players. Congratulations to everybody who achieved their dream over the past 2 days. Now we wait to the end of next week, I believe, where the official open free agency starts on the 3rd of July. So, that's when everybody can then make their trades and they can sign their people, and we'll see where the money's being spent. So, go ahead.
Did Miami get a guard?
No, Miami didn't have it. They had to trade their pick, and when they got, actually, they did get a guard. They got Otega Awe. But I don't know if they traded him. I don't know if they owned his. If they owned their pick in the second round. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's how I'm pronouncing his name. Otega. Away. That's how. Okay. Yeah, he was a guard in Kentucky. Now Kentucky usually always got a lot of big time players. Otega was really one of them ones that you saw like, oh, he needed a little bit of freedom. Like he needed a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? And with Kentucky, you can't really I originally saw it with John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, Boogie Cousins Kentucky team. I'm like, nigga, it's only one ball, nigga, and they all need to get busy. So you kind of really have, when you go to Kentucky, you got to kind of really sacrifice yourself a little bit. He's coming in right now where they instantly need you to show you can get yours.
But he's going to OKC.
He's going to that was traded.
I'll take it. Yeah, he went to OKC.
Oh, nigga, they don't need nobody else, nigga.
Isn't that
the
crazy?
Fuck?
Yeah.
I'm upset now, nigga.
So Miami didn't pick.
They picked, but they clearly had to pick for other niggas. Clearly, they had to pick for other niggas. Their first round pick that they just their first round pick that they had to pick, it was given to Milwaukee. So because the trade's not really official until, like I said, I believe the third.
I see how
They
that
had to pick the player that Milwaukee
But we all
wanted.
know where they're going. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So damn, I thought Ortega would have been good for them, man. So yeah, they really gotta go bargain shopping right now. Like they really gotta go on the
They got some money. We'll
discount.
see what happens. We'll see what happens.
They only got 18 million. They ain't got a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck them.
They ain't got a lot. They ain't got a lot. So yeah, they gotta make something shake. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, no, man, my sports is I'm getting kind of getting kind of antsy for football, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Training camp. You got a long gap until we get to training camp. I think it's like by end of July, beginning of August. Then we get preseason. So we got some time. Bro. It was us just. Let's just hold your horses, man. We got a lot. We got because once it hits, it's gonna be a flood of information for sports.
well, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what we
you know,
need. And
I
that's
have no
what.
idea why Terrion Arnold is in the news. I'm so confused by that shit. I'm not gonna even hold you, bro. Like that shit makes no goddamn sense. But I can't even say like good luck because it's the stupidest. I can't even say nothing. I was shocked, but Geno Smith, he almost got played too this week, but it was all some baby mama drama.
Shout out to his baby mama coming out and saying, I don't know
Yeah,
what that bitch talking about, but he
shout
good
out
with
to the
our
baby
son
mama.
over here.
Yeah, exactly. Just holding him down, because some crazy radio woman trying to get him caught up on some shit. But yeah, man, everybody, I hope there's no more like police involved in any sports conversations before the beginning of the season because we don't need none of that shit. Man, Terry Arnold, it was nice knowing you, bro. You're talented, bro, but you actually went out there to handle the shit yourself and put on a mask when you were a first round pick and I get it. You don't want to get got. I get it. Do not be going out there doing this shit yourself.
Nigga, Terry ain't make that second contract yet, nigga. That got hurt. Let me see. Did Terry not make that second contract, nigga?
Listen, no, of course.
Because everything matters.
No, he didn't. But I think he's like right about to. Don't risk your future for this. First of all, you got twice, bro. What does that tell you the first time, bro? Like, don't be careful who you fucking with, bro. Who you surround yourself by. Now you're like, all right, let me go get it back, and you got caught. When they got you, they didn't get caught. But you're a football player, holding people up at gunpoint, bro.
Yes, I'm gonna do more of my
First round pick.
research, man.
So yeah, we'll chop it up another day about that.
Yeah.
Listen, man. All is love. Everything is everything. Thank you for joining us here on the Everything Is podcast, where we talk about everything that matters. We are the Zeitgeist. We are the culture. We'll see you tomorrow. And stay safe. And keep love first in your heart and spirit. Because the world fucking needs it, man. You good, man?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm
right,
good, my guy.
Peace out, y'all. If you made it this far, you are a real one. Thank you. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more daily content from your boys from Everything Is.